Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the next edition of the 53rd Annual Chicago Business Opportunity Fair Virtual Conference Series. Today, we are featuring strategies for maximizing minority business certification, featuring Shondra Watson Wilson, Director of Strategic Partnerships. Hey, Shondra. And Leatha King, Manager of MBE Services.
Good morning, everyone.
And I am going to have the pleasure not only of welcoming these two ladies, but to welcome you to this next session that's focused on our ability to maximize minority business certification. So ladies, it's all you. Welcome.
All right, great. Powerful introduction. That's almost kind of like the voice of God that's talking. Thank you so much, Jerry.
Love it.
Yeah, we're going to kind of just dig right into it. So Leatha and I, we kind of played back on how we would best deploy this method of maximizing certification. And certification, as most of you know, is the core competency of ChicagoMSDC. So we're going to go right into the certification application process. So we're hoping that some people who are not on the phone, who are on the phone, a little bit about the process. So becoming ChicagoMSDC certified is you would start with an online process, and you would do that on our website. So it's all an online process. You would go to www.chicagomsdc.org to start the process. All of the documentation, you would need to submit some supporting documentation. It is uploaded to the website. It's pretty easy, uploading the information. We do require lots of documentation, I will say that. We require tax returns, we require birth certificates, financial statements. All of that information is put there, and it's required, and you upload it right to that system. It's a very secure portal that we have limited access. We only have access to, but you upload it to that portal. You pay the application fee right there online, and the processing time takes up to 90 days. It is a very thorough process, so we do conduct a site visit. And normally it's really fun because Leatha and I would normally come out to your place of business, and we would come out and talk to you and learn more about your business and your day-to-day operations. We come out and we visit your warehouse and your office space. But right now, we're doing all of our site visits virtually. So we are still learning about your warehouse space and your operations and getting to know about your business, but we're just using technology. We're doing it now. We actually also have, it is reviewed by our certification committee. Our committee is comprised of representatives from various major buying corporations. So shout out to our certification committee because they are a very hardworking committee, and they serve as our second and third pair of eyes that review these files to make sure that companies are in fact who they say they are. So we want to make sure that we keep the integrity of the program, and that companies are really minority owned and controlled. And then the final process, it goes through a board review, and the board votes to uphold the decision of the committee, to approve it, deny it, and so forth. And then finally, you receive a notification of a decision that says that you are approved or denied. And so many of you that are on the line with us today, you have been approved. And so welcome. And we'll talk about what are the next steps and how you can maximize your certification. I'll go into just kind of take this opportunity to just kind of clear the air and just kind of clear it here to say, there are many different types of certifications that are out there, so it gets confusing. You know, I've been doing this for quite some time, and sometimes I am even confused. So there's certification that was the WBE certification that's issued by WBDC. There's the, if you're trying to do business with the city of Chicago, there's the MBE certification there. There's DBE certification. I want you to know that this certification you have with ChicagoMSDC, it's part of NMSDC, this NMSDC certification is accepted and recognized by most private sector organizations. So if you're trying to do business with the private sector, the PepsiCo, the Walmarts, the Federal Reserve banks, the Blue Cross Blue Shield, this is the certification that they will recognize. If you're trying to do business with the city of Chicago, then you would need to get certification with the city of Chicago as a certified MBE. If you're trying to do business with state of Illinois, then you would need to get certification with the state of Illinois as a certified MBE. So just wanted to make sure that everyone was clear and that there was an understanding of that. So we're going to go into some tips about certification, recertification that Leatha is going to give to us, but we got a little quiz for people. Let's get people thinking. I feel like we should have the Jeopardy music going or something. Jared, you didn't hook us up with that. What's
Right.
But
Shondra, go ahead. So Shondra explained the certification process. Is a very detailed process where you upload a lot of documentation, as she stated. The recertification process is not that rigorous. So how soon should an applicant submit recertification application? I know that everyone has done their homework and already knows the answer to that question. So the answer is 6 months before expiration. You don't want those certifications to expire because...
So this is our quiz, Leatha. Sorry. This is our quiz. So we've got the answer on the next slide. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay,
No, so
I'm sorry.
we're gonna skip back. Jared, you can skip back. So our quiz here is, and we want people, if you can actually enter it into the chat. How soon should an applicant submit a recertification application to avoid a lapse certification? Should you do it 6 months before expiration? 120 days before expiration? Is it 60 to 90 days before expiration? Is it the day prior? Or do you want to just call Leatha up and bug her the day before so you don't miss your contract?
Right, and so the 6 months answer was like a test. And Shondra busted me out.
We told you we're gonna have some fun here today.
Yeah, we'll just keep going. We want to make sure that this is fun and interactive. So we're going to go to the next slide if you guys have all typed in your responses. So raise of hands, we can see you in our minds who got the answer correct. So the certifications should be, yay, should be submitted 6 to 90 days prior to the expiration. You don't want those certifications to expire. I know that you guys have contracts in place. I am a previous supplier diversity professional, and I know that we hound you guys for that information and to get those certifications into us. So you want to make sure that you get those certifications in time. The recertification process takes 30 days, and you upload your documents. The only documents we require for recertification is your tax documents and your recertification affidavit. It's nowhere near as stringent as the certification process. You also pay the fee. The fee is dependent upon your company revenue. So on our website, you can take a look at what the fee would be for your business. I see some questions coming in. Also, Trisha, ownership changes. You want to make sure that you inform us of any changes in your corporation and your contact information as well. If there is a need for us to reach out for you for any reason at all, maybe there's an opportunity that we heard about that you would be interested in, this is the form of communication that we'll be sending, will be from the information that's in our database. So please make sure that that information is updated and current.
So Leatha, you talked about, you briefly just kind of went in a little bit on about how you came from a corporate background, and I know you, I've been around this circle for quite some time, so I know that you have a background with supplier diversity for quite some time, working with Aon and PepsiCo and even Chicago Public Schools. So Perhaps you can give some folks in the audience, our MBEs, some tips on they've got their certification. They're certified by ChicagoMSDC. They've got this tool in their toolbox now. What's the best way that they can make these corporate connections now?
So let's just talk about that a little bit.
Give them the skinny.
These are tips. You can pay me later for these tips. When I was in corporate America, suppliers would oftentimes approach me and ask me if I had any recommendations on who within the organizations they should be speaking with regarding business opportunities, and if I had any tips on approaching those individuals. Of course, my first question to them would be, have you taken the necessary steps to have your business certified? That would be first and foremost. So let's talk a little bit about some additional tips that I provided. Let's start with your company pitch. Your pitch on your organization should be rock solid. I cannot stress that enough. In the sense that you should be able to clearly articulate information on the products and services that you provide to the point where you've done such a good job that the person on the receiving end won't have many questions afterwards. If you find that the person is asking a lot of questions after you've given your pitch, then that may be a clear indication that you need to tighten up your pitch. That's very important. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression, so you want that first impression to be as good as possible. Let's go to connect. Who should you connect with? Connect and build relationships with the supplier diversity professionals at the organizations that you are targeting. They are the individuals that work closely with procurement and can be of great assistance to you with understanding the needs of the organization, and if there's an opportunity for you to take part in any current or future RFPs. So that part is very important as well. Supplier services and organizational requirements. So I put this because let's just pretend that one of the supplier diversity professionals stated that there's an upcoming opportunity for business. You want to make sure that you have the capacity to meet the demands of the organization before taking part in any opportunities that you don't have the capacity to handle. You want to make sure that's a very important point. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. Follow up. Continue to follow up with the individuals that you've been in contact with. Everyone is busy. Everyone is busy, but make sure that somehow your name and service offerings stick in the back of their heads by continuing to reach out and being a constant reminder to them that you're still interested in doing business with that organization. So I guess my point is remain consistent. And finally, stay engaged. Stay engaged with the needs of the organizations you're targeting. Do your homework, research, ask questions, and be persistent. You're not being pesky, you're just being persistent. That's all I have on the topic of corporate connections. I hope that was very helpful.
It was. I'm gonna jump back on the pitch, because yesterday with yesterday's workshop, as this is a part of Smart Business Week as a collaboration with CBOF 53, we touched upon, I want to just reiterate to those that are new in the audience today that Federal Reserve Bank is also hosting a video pitch. So, and we can give you some more detail about that. We'll give you some contact information actually at the end of our presentation. You can reach out to Leatha or I, and we will be happy to provide you with that information. But Federal Reserve Bank is hosting a smart business pitch. They are asking for folks that are interested in doing business with the Federal Reserve Bank to submit a video. I think it may be 90 seconds long or so, but like I said, we'll give you some more information. You can submit a video, and it's going to some information about your pitch to Federal Reserve Bank. So pitching is very big right now. So as Leatha said, you kind of don't get sometimes you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So we want to make sure that that's all right.
Shondra, can you enlighten us, the audience, on the MBE to MBE exchanges?
Well, certainly. So, Leatha, you gave a lot of good information about, connecting with corporations. And, of course, that's the name of our game. That's our mission, to make sure, it was ChicagoMSDC's mission, to connect certified MBEs, minority entrepreneurs, with major buying organizations for sustainable business opportunities. But the one thing that people know about me is I'm always preaching about those MBE to MBE exchanges, making sure that you are actually practicing what you preach. ChicagoMSDC has a vast variety of certified MBEs. We actually have some MBEs that are even as large as some corporations that are members with us. So it's very important that you continue to work with other MBEs. So there are different ways that you can work and partner with other MBEs. And so we're going to call this information, we're going to call this slide MBE to MBE exchanges. So one thing that I'll say is that we have over 8 days. So you can reach out to seek a mentor. You can reach out to seek a mentor. You can always, count on some other MBEs who can really tell you different ways and different challenges and successes that they've had. So what better way to learn than from a mentor? Become familiar with other MBEs that are in your industry. That are going on within your industry, and who better to learn that from than someone that's within your industry. You can't really learn that vital information from folks that are within corporations and so forth. That sort of information comes from people that are right within your industry. Buy and sell MBEs. So Leatha talked about being persistent with selling to those corporate members. It's very important, it's very vital, especially with the state of the economy that we're in right now. It's very important that you also reach out and that you are selling to MBEs as well and buying from MBEs as well, okay? Minority to minority business is critical right now, okay? So it's very important. I would advise everyone, and this is a challenge, look at your, everybody that is in your supply chain, figure out how you can look at that and see how you can find a minority insurance agent, how you can find minority catering companies, minority janitorial. We all need PPE suppliers. Look at those and figure out how you can utilize MBEs in that for your day-to-day operations. Get to know the MBEIC committee. So we have a minority business enterprise input committee. So the MBEIC committee is actually, they provide data and they provide input about minority business issues. 800 certified MBEs with our organization, but they provide that valuable input to let us know what's going on. So I always kind of call our MBEIC committee, they're our ear to the streets. Okay, so they let us know what's happening out there. So get to know the MBEIC committee. Joyce Johnson, she serves as our MBEIC committee chair. Joyce does a wonderful job. She's very intrigued and very into minority business issues and concerns. Joyce Johnson is the president and CEO of Anchor Staffing, and she serves as the chair of the Minority Business Enterprise Input Committee. Utilize the that on our database that you have, where you go into our portal, where you go in to enter your information for your certification and your recertification application that you're going to enter 60 to 90 days in advance. There is a feature that allows you to search for other MBEs. How about that? So you can actually utilize that feature and you can actually search for other MBEs. And certainly last but not least, you need to stay engaged. So when you are attending these events and you're attending networking events that ChicagoMSDC hosts, even now virtually, make sure that you reach out and that you're finding ways that you stay engaged with other MBEs as well as our corporate members.
Awesome information. That was very helpful. With that, can you also explain to us, Shondra, some additional programs and services that are offered through the Chicago MSDC that would be of benefit to the suppliers?
Sure. You know, in addition to lots of the events and so forth, which Chicago MSDC is known for, all of our great networking events and certification, we also have different programs and services that are offered to our MBEs. So what I'll talk about first is the Minority Business Development, I'm sorry, the MBDA Business Center. So for more than 50 years, MBDA, the Minority Business Development Agency, has been working aggressively to expand the economic footprint of minority business enterprises. So they really serve as our technical assistance center. So they're really our technical arm of the Chicago MSDC. MBDA Business Center provides consulting services, and they do business assessment. So when you're looking for the business plan review, strategic plan assessment, procurement assistance, financing, access to capital, bonding assistance, assistance with mergers and acquisitions, the MBDA Business Center can assist with that. Chicago MSDC actually operates 2 MBDA business centers. So we operate a business center right here in Chicago, and we also operate one that's in St. Louis. I'll give you the contact information. If you're, you know, I would strongly suggest you to reach out to, if you're interested in services in Chicago, to Dave Thomas and his team for the Chicago MBDA Center. Dave Thomas serves as the project director. He and his team do a fantastic job. You've got Josh Gutstein, who serves as the senior financial consultant, and Anita Hagan, who does a wonderful job as the business development manager. You've got their contact information below. Give it a second. Let people write that information down before we click over. There we go. Take a picture. And then we've also got the St. Louis MBDA Center. So if you're interested in opportunities and learning more about how to do business, Todd Gilliard, who serves as the project director, he's doing lots of great things. He's really getting out there in the St. Louis marketplace. You've got Jamila Pointer, who is the vice president, senior financial consultant. Jamila does a wonderful job with accessing financial opportunities for minority business owners. I know she actually just did a workshop with, I think, Magic Johnson's team. You got Jamaica Smith, who is very known in the marketplace in the St. Louis area. She's the business development manager. And then you got Laura Hughes, who's the administrative assistant. Get to know the MBDA Center teams. Got their contact information there as well.
You know, it's interesting to learn that 95% of the world's purchasing power resides outside of the United States. I was very shocked to see those statistics, but I guess that's just how it is today. With that, we do have our MBDA Export Center that we can talk about a little. The slide actually explains it all. The Chicago MBDA Export Center seeks to help businesses obtain the resources they need to become export ready in this world. And it focuses primarily on exporting opportunities in Africa. It also seeks to develop alliances with local, state, and federal government agencies, major corporations, banks, financial resources, and the minority business community to create larger, more strategic minority entrepreneurs. Great information from that center. Shondra, can you help us explain, if you have anything to add to that, please do, but can you also help us with how we can help?
Yeah. So, you know, it's very interesting that you say that, that, you know, of course, you know, being here in the United States, of course, you know, we all consider ourselves we're the big giants, you know, here, but learning that there is, or knowing that there is so much opportunity outside of these walls in this bubble. We know, ChicagoMSDC knows that. And so we want to make sure that our MBEs are make sure that they are ready, that they have the information that they need. So we have an export center, which is actually funded by MBDA, the Minority Business Development Agency. This export center actually focuses on Africa, okay? And then you talk about how they help. So they do lots of preparation, making sure that minority business owners are ready and prepared to provide business services and so forth and do business in Africa. But it's not just Africa that they can assist you with, because there are other export centers that are throughout the United States that they can branch you with as well. So how they help, they do lots of client engagement and outreach activities. So they do foreign trade missions, which is really cool. You get an opportunity to visit Africa, and really, you're really on the ground, and you really get to know and see the opportunity firsthand. There's networking events that they offer. There's education and training. There are webinars that they do. And they also have strategic partnerships with government agencies, corporate partners, and also the MBE network. And more than that, I'll say that they have strategic partnerships with lots of government agencies and corporate partners that are actually over in Africa. So that's really cool to know.
Awesome. What you see here is ways to connect with us. If you're interested in the African markets, below is a link that you can utilize to find out more information on the African markets.
And looking at this slide, it just makes me feel like I need a vacation, Leatha. You know,
Two of us. That would make two of us.
Very pretty. Look at all the colors. I need to go take me a trip to Africa. I'm feeling it right now.
Birds look so peaceful.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Program? I know the slide says it all. If you can add any extras, that would be fantastic.
Sure. So, you know, talking about the programs and services that we have at ChicagoMSDC, we've got lots of things to offer that we want our MBEs to take advantage of. So Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Program. So we're really talking about that technical assistance arm now. So this is a program it's designed to prepare established small firms, including, when we talked about those different certifications, disadvantaged, minority, women-owned, and veteran-owned businesses for participation on highway and vertical construction contracts. So this is a program that really preps small business owners on how to do business on those highway and program I would really encourage folks to take advantage of if you are interested in working in that industry. I'll give you some, don't fret, we will give you information at the end of these slides.
Thank you for that. We also have the PIPE program. This is it's an 8-week program, and it's a non-credit training program designed to analyze a company's process. This is a great program that you should honestly look into. It requires at least 3 years of experiencing, developing, operating the business. It is a free scholarship available now through Aramark. Thank you, Aramark. We appreciate it.
Shout out Aramark.
Woohoo! So this is a great program as well for you to look into. Okay.
We also have the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. So this is a 16-week. So that's 16 weeks. So
16.
you should be ready after 16 weeks of training. A 16-week training program to help entrepreneurs create jobs and economic opportunity by providing them with greater access to education, financial and capital and business access support services. So once again, giving you that sort of technical assistance that many business owners are, so desire. So this is really another method that ChicagoMSDC is working, partnering, and collaborating to make sure that MBEs are ready and equipped to take advantage of opportunities.
Interested in any of these programs, here's the contact information that Shondra promised to you. Nita Sharp is the contact person. She's the program manager for the Chicago MSDC, and we'll give you a second to jot down her information.
And that is for the technical assistance, the PIPE program, and the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. Nita Sharp is the program manager. If you are interested in taking advantage of any of those programs.
Contact Nita.
So we'll take some questions, but we just kind of wanted to kind of sum up some of the things as we talk about the benefits of certification. So Leatha, we'll kind of have you start off with some of our networking events.
Sure. So one of our, we have the, as Shondra talked about, the MBE to MBE. There are matchmaking events. We have the Chicago Business Opportunity Fair, in addition to other events that we have listed on our website. These events are very impactful with helping you connect with the right people. This includes corporate partners as well as MBEs, in addition to the council. So we'll be there to assist you through any process you need, any introductions that need to be made. So please make sure that you participate in our networking events. You will not be sorry.
Okay. And then there's matchmaking. We do different things in different ways. We're very creative we have corporate one-on-ones that we do. We really want to make sure that we're doing some strategic matchmaking for our corporate members as well, making sure that, I'm just going to be really honest, we don't want to waste people's time. So we want to make sure that there's some strategic matchmaking that is going on. So one of the services that we are actually offering many of our corporate members is that, not just going into the database and, finding some folks. We want to make sure that they actually contact us, and then they really kind of finite what it is that they're looking for. So we want to make sure that that strategic matchmaking occurs and happens. So we do corporate one-on-ones, and that's an upcoming event that we're having. I think that it's for some time in September. And then we also have the matchmaking that occurs actually daily. Leatha and I are actually contacted on a daily basis from corporate members who are looking to work with MBEs in specific industries or looking for MBEs in specific categories.
And then we have our corporate connections that we kind of talked about a little bit earlier with me outlining your company pitch and things of that nature. Corporate Connections offers you an opportunity to meet some of our corporate partners, engage with them, ask questions about their products and services, and introduce your service offerings. There is an opportunity for you to connect with them and build relationships with them. So that's a good program that we have as well.
And then the strategic business consulting. So you're not in this alone. We are your partner. So I talked about many of the programs and services that you have that we offer. Take advantage of those. Get to come in and talk to. Well, you don't come in right now, but schedule some time to talk with many of the folks that are on the team that can offer strategic business consulting to you all. We've seen this. Many of the folks on the team have been doing this for quite some time. We've got folks that are on our team that have lots of experience, lots of skill sets, and we're here to help. That's all I can say. We're here to help.
And then we have the national database, where if you are a certified supplier through Chicago MSDC, you are part of the national database. And with that, I'll go back to the corporations. If there is a need for a project and or service, so there are some sourcing needs within an organization, that national database will be the place that corporations go to look for any suppliers. If you are in IT, then your information will be in that database, and there's a potential opportunity for business for you or for you to participate in any RFPs that they have open at that time. Great benefit.
And make sure that your information is correct in that database. Make sure your NAICS codes are correct. Make sure your contact information is correct. So that's just another tip. I talked about MBE Exchanges. So once again, I'll just drive home once again about practicing what we preach, making sure that you are working with other MBEs as well. And if you need some assistance with how to do that, please do not hesitate to contact this team. We will be happy to assist with that.
Exactly. There's a wealth of knowledge with the MBEs, and there's a lot that you guys can learn from each other, and a lot of partnerships that can take place. So as Shondra said, that's a very important point as well. Okay.
And so with that, I think we can take some questions. You assist us with that?
Yes.
Whoever won the quiz should go first.
I think you were the winner, Leatha.
I think I was.
Yeah, she told me
the jig was up. The jig was up.
Looks like the first question that I recognize is coming from Jillian Garcia. Her question is, in your experience, how do supplier diversity representatives at companies like to be contacted? In our new environment, do you have any suggestions for virtual communication?
I can take that one. Supplier diversity professionals, pretty much the best form of communication with them is email. They get a lot of phone calls. The mailboxes fill up quickly. With technology today, there are phones. We have our phones with our email accounts on them. So wherever they are, they can see your email. So my answer to that question is the best form of communication is email.
I'm going to piggyback off of that question because I actually had a few MBEs who told me, it's bad to say, but we said we were giving you the skinny. They said, this has actually been the best time for me right now. While people are working from home, they said that they have found that many of the diversity managers and so forth and representatives from corporations have probably been more accessible now than ever. So this may be a good time to definitely reach out to some of those folks who you have not been as successful with reaching out to before.
As my son always says, outside is kind of closed. So yeah. We're stuck in the house. So we have more time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Next question.
Next question is coming from Mr. William Randall. He asks, what are the advantages of certified MBEs from other regions within the MSDC in terms of getting a subscription with the Chicago chapter? So in other words, what are the subscription benefits for those that are already MBEs at the other affiliate councils?
Great question, Mr. Randall. I don't want to sound too simple when I say, when I give the answer, but it's Chicago. Chicago is a great marketplace. There are many different corporations that are here that you have the opportunity of engaging with obtaining a certification here in Chicago. Was that the question he was saying about getting certification here in Chicago, or was the question about getting subscription services with another?
It's more about I think it's more about the subscription service for Chicago. And I think part of that also means that you get access to all of the all the programs that are here local. You get the information, the invitations. So you end up in the database here locally in Chicago. So that helps, extend in terms of context for corporations and otherwise. I think that's really the target.
So that's it. All the programs and services that we spoke about, it's being with subscription services, you have an opportunity to take advantage of those. And then also, like I said, it's Chicago. We've got lots of corporate partners that are here that you also, you will then have that certificate, or it's actually the letter that gives you a subscription service, certifies you with subscription services here in Chicago.
Excellent. We'll take 2 more questions, I believe. Here's one. It says, if we are certified as an MBE with the Cook County or the state of Illinois, is there a fast track option to get certified with the ChicagoMSDC? Now, before you answer that, hold on. Also, I'm going to add to their question because it also goes in reverse. So answer the first part, right, in terms of getting certified with the council and how easy it is to become certified with the other agencies. So reciprocals.
I'll start and you can add on, Shondra. I think the benefit is there's a lot of information that's required on both parts when it comes to certification. I think one of the benefits is that you already have all of that information from the CMSDC compiled in a file, hopefully, that you can just easily transfer over to another council without having to go through the process of compiling that information all over again. So that's one of the huge benefits. Do you have anything to add, Shondra?
Yeah, so his question also was about the county and the state and so forth, right? Correct, Jared?
Correct, and fast tracking. Is it faster?
So here's the thing. So I will share with you all that we are in the process of establishing some agreements with, hopefully we are in talks with establishing some agreements with the county and state and so forth. We want to make this as seamless as possible for our MBEs. We know that it is a headache. Trust me, we do. We know that. The good thing is this, I mentioned the services that are offered by the MBDA Business Center, and I mentioned Anita Hagan, who serves as their business development manager. We have agreements with these agencies, whereas our certification is not recognized with them right now, but we do have agreements with them. So as Leatha alluded to, once you have that documentation that's already compiled, all that information, it's already there. When you're working with Anita, she can help you with putting together that information. So let's say, for example, ChicagoMSDC requires 2 years of tax returns, but Cook County requires 3 years of tax returns. Anita can assist you with gathering that other year of tax returns. She we would normally, in the old world, Anita would physically walk that application over to Cook County or the city, or set up a meeting with them about the application and speak with them about the application. And she would then correspond with them back and forward. And then that would kind of be our form of fast tracking it for you. Now, was that a second part of the question that I answered all in one?
I think you reached it.
Okay.
All
right.
I think there's definitely obviously an advantage once you've certified in one organization. Clearly, the gold standard in terms of NMSDC is the site visit. So that extra step is required. But once you've done it with the ChicagoMSDC, it's a whole lot easier going back to the other.
Yes.
Excellent. And you mentioned Anita. She made a comment. It wasn't really a question. She said she's really looking for some support in terms of how important it is for MBEs to put their company description in their profile so that the database is stronger, so that when corporations are searching, they get a better response in terms of the applicable MBEs that might be able to service or supply to them.
Very important fact, very important.
Yeah, I think I touched upon it, and Anita's, correct. I'll drive it home even a little bit more, making sure that information is correct, that is in the system, because they're searching, and more than likely, and Leatha can tell you, they're doing a quick search. You know, I got to find someone, and they're looking with those NAICS codes, with those next codes. They're looking for your description of your company. So making sure that that is as accurate as possible for your description of the company and the services that are provided, and making sure that contact information is current. I'll say that again, because lots of times people will put the contact or email address for their administrative assistant. Well, that administrative assistant is no longer with the organization anymore. So now we don't have anything, and now we're reaching out, and that corporation is reaching out. You missed out on an opportunity. So making sure that that information is current is going to be critical.
I'll add on to that just a little bit. There was an opportunity for business at one of the corporations. They reached out to me. I did a database check. Well, there was a company that was qualified, but they included 2 paragraphs of information on their products and or services. Now, I had to read through all of that just to get to one small point. So be thorough, be very descriptive, but make sure that you don't add too much information, because as you know, sometimes people don't like to read. They don't want to go through all of that information just to get to one small detail. So just add all of your products and or services, and be just a little more descriptive, but not 2 paragraphs. Please and thank you.
Excellent. I do want to, before I get to the last question, I want to read an important comment from Tricia Wynn, who's on the certification committee. She mentions, as Shondra stated, we have a wealth of knowledge at the council through the staff and 1099 resources. So in terms of our subcontractors. So please reach out with questions and issues regarding your certification packet. We're here to help you. If you are unsure about how to fill out the application or get codes and information, just reach out and submit your application online and make sure it's complete. And it can be readily processed that way. Making sure it's complete is probably the emphasis in bold there.
Exactly.
So you might want to speak to this. Some people go through the process and they bump into an area where they've never actually submitted. They've started it, but they never actually submitted the application, which doesn't fall on your desk, right?
Right.
My closing arguments. I've experienced that 4 times already this week, where suppliers have entered all of the information, uploaded all of the required documentation, but they did not submit the application, meaning it was just sitting out there. And so when they call me to get an update on the application, and if anything else is required, I can't find it. Why can't I find it? Because you never submitted it. So Tricia made a very valid point. Please make sure you click that submit button on your applications.
Shout out to Tricia Wynn. Yay.
Tricia Wynn, yay, you took our closing comments, but that was very helpful, Tricia.
I love it.
Thank you so much. I love it. I love it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I also say is, don't keep this information to yourself. Certified MBEs who are listening, and I see that we've got some other. Share this information. These are very challenging times. We are all stronger together. Share the information. We are here to help. ChicagoMSDC. We are very excited about the new things to come. We have our new president and CEO, Vincent Williams. He is extremely passionate about small businesses. Yay! Shout out, Vincent. And we are excited about working with him. We're excited about new things that are to come. So, hey, I'm gonna say, y'all better get on the ship now. Come on.
Before it sails away.
We're rolling out. So be sure to share this information. Let others know about ChicagoMSDC. For a long time, it's been a statement that we were a best kept secret. We don't want it to be a best kept secret anymore. We want folks to know about all the great things that we are doing. So I wanted to make sure that this session was extremely important to Leatha and I and the team. Shout out to Federal Reserve Bank. CBOF 53, Jared Kelly, CI Media Group, Cynthia Jordan, Director of Events and so forth, and the entire ChicagoMSDC MBDA team for assisting us with this, and everybody who provided information. But we wanted to make sure that this was something that everyone knew about, because we want to make sure that people know I've got my certification. And we used to call this workshop, I'm certified, now what? So we want to make sure that people know I'm certified, what are the next steps? And we want to make sure that they know how to maximize their certification. And that's what we're here for.
If I can add on, we are here to help you succeed. That's why we're here. We want to see you succeed. We want to hear the success stories, and we want to be a part of it. So utilize us. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if it's something that you feel like you don't know, ask us. We're here for you.
Yeah. It is, I think I can say for most of the people on this team, it is a passion of what we do here. Business development, it's something that, especially minority business development, something that I know I personally eat, sleep, and breathe. So, you know, also for the paycheck too, Vincent. Hello, shout out.
Shout out to the paycheck.
We eat, sleep, and breathe, but you know, business development. But this is what we do. We're here to help.
Thank you, ladies. That was awesome. Not only do we greatly appreciate your time and also appreciate you giving out your contact information. There's additional questions in the chat. I'm sure they may take you up on your offer. So good luck fielding all the questions in your email box. But we want to wrap up this session and just say thank you with a couple quick points for you. Stay connected, stay tuned. There's more coming. Next week, we continue this CBOF 53 virtual conference series with a great session from JP Morgan Chase, keeping your business secure and resilient during the COVID-19 crisis. These experts are fantastic, so don't miss that. Register on Eventbrite. You have full access to all their information as well. We want to also thank all of our partners and sponsors. Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Shout out to our partners.
This could not happen. This could not happen without the companies involved that support the council, especially in an unusual time this year. We not only support them, but we support their ability to connect the dots, not only for MBE contracts, but as well in the overall growth and development for minority communities through business. So we want to thank all of these sponsors and partners. And lastly, please give us your feedback, give us your comments. This was a fantastic session. It will be available for replay, but we definitely want to give a shout out to Shondra Watson Wilson, Leatha King for your expertise. Not only do we thank you, but we ask you to stay healthy and stay strong, because there are no days off in this game. All right, take care. We will all talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Please be safe.
For attending.